Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video here. My name is Waste Potential, and today we are taking a look at all of the Sun Belt Conference football stadiums. A lot of good quality small school stadiums on this list. I'm excited, so let's just hop right into it, guys. Hope you are enjoying this series so far. Starting off today with Brooks Stadium, home of Coastal Carolina, opened in 2003, capacity of 21,000. I think this is a really nice, solid little stadium here. A couple sets of chairback seats there near the booths there, as you can see on the back side in this exterior photo and in the Google Maps photo. Get a nice overview of the entire stadium. They have a nice little jumbotron at the close end zone here. Obviously, the most unique thing with Coastal Carolina is that teal field. Honestly, I don't hate it. It's not as bad as Eastern Michigan's like stupid gray field, but it is a little bit odd to me. But again, I don't think I hate it, but I can't say I love it. But this has been a lively atmosphere the last couple of seasons. Coastal's just had some interesting teams, I guess you could put it that way. And this stadium's seen expansion in the last 10 to 15 years as the school's gotten larger and the program's gotten a little bit better. So that's always good to see there from Coastal. Again, a solid stadium there. Up next is SB Ballard Stadium, home of Old Dominion University. Opened in 1936, capacity of 22,480. Again, similar to Coastal Carolina, just a solid small stadium with a nice amount of chairback seating here. I like the corner end zone jumbotron there. This does have a lot of end zone, like that square set of end zone bleacher seating, which I don't hate, but that opposite end zone has those nice luxury booths there. I think overall it looks good. I know I talk about the luxury booths in other videos. I don't ever sit in those, so I can't say it adds to my experience, but I know it is a little bit more profitable for the schools, and I think aesthetically it's a little bit more pleasing if done the correct way. So that's just kind of my opinion on luxury booth seating. A lot of times it can make a stadium look worse, but in this case, I think it actually makes it look a little bit better. Again, nice shot here on the Google Earth. And it was kind of hard to find this stadium packed, at least with a good quality photo. So if you guys ever see that, I always try to find an image of these stadiums packed, but if I can't find one that's good enough quality for what in my opinion is good enough to put on YouTube, I won't post it. So if you're ever wondering why, that is the reason. And up next is Center Park Stadium, home of Georgia State, opened in 2017, capacity of 24,333. Probably won't be surprising to most people. This is probably my least favorite stadium on this list. I mean, it's just so screwed up. This used to be the home of the Atlanta Braves. It also wasn't called Center Park Stadium, but I think that's actually quite fitting. And the seating chart on this one is just insane. Look at this exterior photo. It is a ballpark. They just threw a football field in the middle of it. This concourse over here in the Google Earth image, I mean, it's just hilarious. And Georgia State's just not really a relevant team. Again, why I couldn't find any pictures of the stadium all packed. This has also only been done for the last couple years, so it's nothing too new. So like I said, 2017, that wasn't when this park was originally built. It's just when it was converted for football. By the way, I forgot to correct that. Up next is Bridgeforth Stadium, home of James Madison. Opened in 1975, capacity of just under 25,000. Really solid stadium here. I just can't believe this was a school in the FCS not too long ago. Adding some chairback seats there. Again, it is mostly bleachers. The second deck bothers me quite a bit. It reminds me of Maryland, but this is much larger. I imagine they'll expand the stadium and copy it on the other side there, so it'll look a lot better. But as of right now, it's just kind of in that weird tweener phase. They did add a nice jumbotron to this one. It is right next to a nice lake there. But overall, just a really solid facility. Again, just really lopsided to me. I think in the next 10 years, it'll look a lot better. And they will definitely keep Bridgeforth around. And as you can see, they've been drawing in crowds. What an awesome year last year from JMU. Campus looks really cool around the stadium too. I wish I could have gotten a little bit of a better picture of that, but it wouldn't quite fit into the Google Earth image here. Up next is Paulson Stadium, home of Georgia Southern. Opened in 1984, capacity of exactly 25,000. Again, a decent quality, smaller stadium. The second deck bothers me on this one. It could just be one big lower bowl. Not sure why they have to do that on both sides. And then a smaller end zone jumbotron doesn't bother me too much just because of the size of the school. Georgia Southern, kind of a school that wasn't pressing for the size in the FBS. So, again, just another solid. Like, the Sun Belt was the laughing stock of the NCAA. And it might still be, honestly, but teams have gotten more relevant in the last 10 years. And I correct myself, there's no second deck on this opposite sideline. It is just luxury booth seating. But overall, this is dug more into the ground, which I like. Probably saved them a lot of money from making like a large concrete superstructure. So you got to appreciate that from an engineering perspective. And overall, just a solid facility for Georgia Southern. And they have had no problem filling up the stadium for certain games. Other games, it does sit a little bit vacant, but again, it's just not a huge program. Up next is Hancock Whitney Stadium, home of South Alabama. Opened in 2020, so this is, I believe, the newest stadium on the list. I could be wrong, though. Capacity of 25,450. Nice, just like a standard small D1 college football build, stadium build. Although I think it went really well. Nice amount of press box and luxury booth seating. Nice amount of chairback seating for the size of this program. And a nice end zone jumbotron. I think overall this just wraps up this stadium and campus very well. Looks decent from the exterior. It's nothing too special. This did host the Senior Bowl. And I think that just the seating shape of the stadium, I think is really good. Leaving that one end zone open. Reminds me of the lower bowl of Heinz Field a little bit. And I think overall, in a college level game, this just goes really well. Second deck, just not necessary. So overall, I think very fitting here. Good stadium here, home of South Alabama. And up next is Monroe Stadium, home of University of Louisiana, Monroe. Sorry, guys. Opened in 1978, capacity of 27,617. This is really odd. The second deck on the stadium is just laughable. I just can't believe that that's still on there. I'm surprised they haven't torn that down. It's funny because apart from that, this really isn't too bad of a stadium. Kind of an annoying upper deck on the opposite sideline, but like just look at this one. This from the back, it just looks like almost like an office building. Like, if you didn't see those concrete like staircase shapes there, you would not think this is a stadium. And the Google Earth photo is just phenomenal as well. I actually love Monroe Stadium, but it's just hilarious. Just laughable to me. I used to love playing in the Sun Belt in, was that NCAA 14. And you'd always play at the Warhawk Stadium. It's just hilarious. Again, one that's kind of hard to find it filled up, as they do have a lot of excess seating. But a decent program and a nice end zone jumbotron here for ULM. And up next is Kid Brewer Stadium, home of Appalachian State. Opened in 1962, capacity of 30,000. Personally, my favorite stadium in the Sun Belt. I think it's just really, really solid, really nice location. It's done really well, not an excessive amount of second deck seating. They do have it on this left sideline, if you're looking in this photo here, but it's not way up there in the sky. It's just built on top of like concessions and restrooms and luxury booth seating, which makes sense. And then again, a nice amount of press box and luxury booth seating on that right sideline from us, in a nice end zone jumbotron. They did a bit of an exterior renovation on this one. I think overall it went really well. And just the location in the Rocky Mountains is really, really awesome. Those sunsets are really pretty there. That's why I love this photo here as well. And App State's been relevant, and for that, they sell out their stadium all the time, and it's an awesome environment to play college football at. App State, really solid job here. That's Kid Brewer Stadium. Up next is Jim Wacker Field at Bobcat Stadium, home of Texas State. Opened in 1981, capacity of just over 30,000. I mean, just over. Kind of an odd shape to this one, but I like it. and a nice corner jumbotron, nice amount of luxury booth seating. It is all bleachers, but that's pretty much the whole Sun Belt. But overall, like, let's get a better view of the shape of the seating. First off, decent exterior on this one that was renovated not too long ago at all, and it's just not quite the full horseshoe shape. They also did that, as you can see, Bobcat Stadium end zone complex that was done not too long ago either. But just the whole shape of this stadium is just a little bit odd to me. It just feels like it's a little bit shorter on both sidelines than it should be. But the double end zone jumbotron is sick, and I think the viewership experience has got to be good. They've been adding some seatback seats here, so it can't do anything but get better. And I think even from this upper deck seating here, which again, they did overdo the upper deck seating just a little bit, but I think even here you get a pretty decent view of the field. Up next is Centennial Bank Stadium, home of Arkansas State. Opened in 1974, capacity of 30,406. They just did a huge renovation to this whole entire sideline and the press box seating and luxury booth seating up there. They even added that waterfall on the side, which I love. Added a ton of chairback seating here, so that's awesome. Overall, I think this is a really clean build, although it's built up a little bit, so an excessive amount of second deck seating. But I think it gives a bit of a pass because if this grows at all, the way this stadium will expand out will look really good. I like that end zone renovation as well. Nice solid jumbotron there too, and that building is relatively good looking. And the Google image Earth shot here, again, an excessive amount of upper deck seating, but I think if Arkansas State grows at all as a program, which they kind of have been, I think this will go over really well. And again, it's dug into the ground a little bit, so I like that. And again, crowds here have been solid. Over all the pictures I looked at, seemed like they saw the stadium quite a bit. And up next is Veterans Memorial Stadium, home of Troy. Opened in 1950, capacity of 30,500. Again, this one just had a recent end zone renovation in that far end zone there, adding that jumbotron, a lot of luxury seating. I love that. I think it just looks aesthetically pleasing. Overall, just has a lot of second deck seating again. That seems to be a problem in this conference here, but a nice amount of chairback seats. The press box doesn't look too bad there. I like that end zone, what do you call it, walking area up there, like a mezzanine space. I think that looks really good too. And again, another jumbotron on that far end zone from us in this picture. And overall, really solid stadium here for Troy. But again, the only gripe I have with it is the second deck seating there. I think it's just a lot of it. But a really cool flyover there. And they don't really sell out the stadium, but it seems like they pull in decent crowds. And up next is M.M. Roberts Stadium, home of Southern Miss. Capacity of 36,000, opened in 1932. I think a lot of us saw the stadium because Frank Gore Jr. played here, which is pretty funny. But they just did an end zone renovation to this one after joining the FBS, and that added a lot of luxury seating. Overall, this place just looks like the old seating needs a bit of a renovation, but other than that, it's really solid. I like the layout. A lot of second deck seating, but overall the layout's pretty solid. Exterior is a little boring, as you can see in this photo here. But it looks clean, like it at least looks new. It's boring though. Nice end zone jumbotron, and that end zone project seems to have gone pretty good on that opposite end zone as well. But again, I think they just need to update the older seating, and this will be a really, really good stadium in the Sun Belt. And been pulling in crowds kind of the last couple years after joining the FBS, so good for that program. Up next is Jones C. Edwards Stadium, home of Marshall. Just an oddly large stadium to me, but I guess there's not too much in West Virginia. Capacity of 38,227, opened in 1991. Like I mentioned, no pro team in West Virginia, so the college teams seem to get a lot more support. They just did an end zone renovation on this one as well, adding a building over there and a new jumbotron, which I think looks really good. Overall, I love the layout of the stadium. Exterior looks good as well. I think this is the right layout for this size of school. May have a bit too much seating, but it seems like they actually fill out the stadium quite a bit. So I'm probably totally wrong with that. Nice amount of chairback seating as well. And overall, just a really solid facility here for Marshall. And as you see in this photo here, it does get filled up, and they seem to have a great fan base. I know that tragedy happened in 70s or 80s where their whole entire team died in a plane crash. So just a really cool program to root for. I'm not too far from Marshall, so I'll have to stop by here sometime. I was here when I was really young, but I do not remember it at all. So quite an interesting stadium and a solid program there. And up next, and I believe our largest stadium on the list, this is in order by capacity, is Cajun Field, home of Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Opened in 1971, capacity of 41,426. Again, a solid layout for this size of a program. Similar to the last stadium we looked at. It's dug into the ground as well, like a couple other of the stadiums on this list. Decent end zone jumbotron there. There's a second deck on this one side, but I don't think it's anything too excessive. I could see that serving well in a future expansion. But overall, kind of boring here to end it off. I swear, the largest stadiums in these conferences are always the most boring for some reason. But a solid stadium. I can't say I hate it at all, and I love the branding for the Raging Cajuns. I think that's just awesome. But yeah, I mean, the end zone with the grass element there, I think that's always solid. They seem to have a lot of like food stands and stuff here, so that's great as well. But other than that, it's just a lot of bleacher seating and a solid seating layout. A little bit too much second deck seating, but again, the layout of it isn't bad. It just looks a little weird. But in a future expansion, it may serve well. And matter of fact, they are. Now that I think about it, I forgot that I added that. They are doing a complete renovation of that second deck, so that's actually a great way to wrap it up. That's going to look beautiful with all that luxury booth seating there, and the actual correct amount of seating as a school this size with a program that pulls in this bit large of a fan base just fits a little bit better to that size. Great way to wrap up the list here, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I enjoyed making this video quite a bit. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did. Also, leave a comment down below if you've been to any of these stadiums, which stadium is your favorite maybe, and just follow along. Hope you guys are enjoying the series, and hope to see you guys in the next one.